Hey guys, Mauro here. Um, I've been doing something new when I'm teaching people. I like to keep my phone close to you, and I just kind of make like notes on it, you know, about things that I work with every person, you know. Then I notice that are things that many times I repeat in my lessons, and they're just like sometimes they're just like small mistakes or things here and there that they don't really require like a long video, but just probably like a minute or a couple of minutes explaining very simple things for all of you playing tennis out there. Some of them can apply it for people that are from beginners to advanced, you know. But anyways, I'm just kind of putting them together, you know, and I wanted to start making some videos where I can give you 4, 5, or 6 tips, things that will help you, you know. And well, let's just start here. The first one is once you got a hold of your ground strokes technique. For those of you that are learning, if you're let's say you're learning the forehand and the backhand, okay, how to hit. So once you learn the forehand and once you learn the backhand or both, focus on your footwork. That will help you find the strike zone and will give you the necessary extra time you need to swing without rushing. Okay, so once you let's say you get a hold of the forehand and the backhand, and once you already hit, a lot of people, they still feel like they're having problems hitting the ball. Okay, many times you already have a good technique to hit. Many times you already know how to hit the forehand, how to hit the backhand, you know, everything, hit the ball early and stuff, but you still find yourself mishitting a lot of shots. So what happens is that a lot of times we don't pay attention, and it's a footwork. Usually when you're starting to learn, you want to pay attention to the footwork right away in order to get that ball in the right place to hit. Without the legs, it doesn't matter how good your technique is. Without moving, being in the right spot, you're not gonna hit the ball. It's just not gonna work out. So once you know, if you've been taking lessons and you already know how to hit the forehand or the backhand, let's say, or the volley, for example, start paying attention to the footwork. Okay, start paying attention, because that's what's gonna move you, and that's what's gonna make you find. You wanna make sure you find that strike zone, that place where every time you hit the ball, you feel like, okay, every time I hit the ball there, it feels perfect, it feels fine. I would say the perfect word for the strike zone, the synonym is like effortless. It feels like every time I make contact right here, it feels good. For some people, it can be a little bit earlier, a little further back, a little bit more this way or this way. It's usually around the stomach on both sides, forehand and backhand, but you want to pay attention to that. Finding your strike zone, getting your strike zone, hitting the ball in the strike zone every time, it has to do with your footwork. If your footwork is not good, you're just not going to be able to control it. So you really want to pay attention to that, guys. Okay, one thing important about finding the footwork, the strike zone. Once you find your strike zone, another thing that is going to help you is that you kind of don't rush. A lot of times people move late, and they move late, and they get to the ball late, and they gotta go back and forth quickly. See, you go back and forth quickly, you're not gonna miss the ball, you're not gonna hit the ball the right way. So you move quickly, you learn that you're getting ready here, settle and go. Your footwork is gonna help your timing hitting too. That's why I say it's gonna help you hit the strike zone. Hitting the strike zone pretty much means like making easier to hit the shot and feeling like it's kind of effortless. That's the word. Okay, pay attention to your split step when your opponent serves or hits the ball during rallies. That's another thing that is very basic, but I have seen a lot of my students or people that I see playing around the club or tournaments, and I see them. It's such a basic thing that many times they just forget to do it. They just forget that when the guy hits a serve, you want to do that split step. When your opponent hits the ball, you want to make that split step. You know, so you want to remind yourself again. Try to pay extra attention to the footwork, because as we become better players, as we start improving from the waist up, we start becoming lazier from the waist down. Why? Because we're good. I'm a good player now. I can even get to that ball with that forehand without the perfect strike zone, just a little close to me. But because I'm a good player, I can adjust and still make the good shot. That starts happening a lot. So you want to pay attention. Do not underestimate the power of your footwork, let's say. Like a Star Wars phrase there. Okay, let me see, guys. All right, this will be, sorry about that, I lost it. Okay, the way you approach the shot has a huge influence on the execution. This is a mental thing. The way you approach it, if you're hesitant, if you're scared, if you're unsure, if you're self-doubting, you know, your shot is just gonna reflect it. It doesn't matter how good is your technique. It doesn't matter if you have practice for hours during weeks, months, or years. Your game is usually going to reflect how you're feeling mentally. And when you see that ball coming, you have to learn. Check on my video. I'll put you the link right here, and also I'll put it down there below this video, you know, on the YouTube page. Check that video. I just made it. I talk about how you want to approach a shot and how it affects it, how it helps. Because the truth is that when you're playing and let's say you're receiving and you see that ball coming, say, okay, here we go, ready, you know, and you kind of feel and move with authority towards the ball and confidence, and say, you know what, leave aside that voice, what if I miss, what if it goes long, what if I don't make it, you know. That is your ego talking to you. That is your ego just ego is nothing else but you trying to find validation and approval. That's what it is. So the ego is pretty much useless. It's not gonna help you when you're playing. You know, ego is good in very small amounts, very small amounts. But you have to be very careful, because if you're worried about how you're gonna look, if you're worried how you're gonna look if you lose to this guy, if you're worried how you're gonna look if you miss a shot, you worry about how you're gonna look if you miss a shot that you have been practicing for weeks or months, and you've been playing the pro from the club to help you. Well, you know what? In the end, it's just gonna make you miss. And it's not really that you. Most of the time, it's not that you did not practice well. It's just the fear that the ego makes you feel. You know, it's just what it brings to you. So you have to pay attention to how you approach it. You have to be able to look at yourself like, okay, I can make it. I'm entitled to make that shot. I know I can do it. I know I'm capable of doing it. I know I have the skills, you know. And if you don't have it in the moment, well, say, well, I'm building it. I'm not there yet, but you know what? I'm improving every time. I'm improving every time. The ego is gonna be focusing on the result. Leave the results aside. Focus on what's happening inside your bubble and the progress, little by little, of every part of your body working. What is the footwork? What is the rotation? Getting the ball early, looking at the ball well, keeping the head still at contact, and all the parts together of every shot, guy. Focus on that. You focus on that, and the shot will take care of itself. Eventually, you're gonna start hitting that. So you really wanna pay attention to the way you feel, the way you walk, the way you talk, the self-dialogue. Pay super extra attention to your self-dialogue, because that's what's pretty much is all the information in your mind, or that's the command of commanding your body and your mind, how you should feel and what you should think about yourself. Okay, last one. Okay, when we're swinging forward, sometimes we bring the racket, we're lagging here, and we bring the racket not really down, but a little more out. You want to pay attention to that. When you're doing that, you end up hitting the ball more side to side, just kind of slapping, and that ball is just a slap. It just goes flat, and it's just all over the place. One thing you want to pay attention is when you lag the racket and you want to put the top spin down and up, and any shot, whether you want to put top spin or not, you never want to bring that racket too far on the side. You want to feel like you're going a little more here bring it more this way, lower, close to you, where that racket is gonna be able to do this part here, guys. Pay attention when you're swinging forward. Sometimes you're not going really down and up. You're feeling like you go more to the side and on top of the ball and come around. And sometimes people think like, you know, they're told, you know what, bring it down and up. And they feel like you're going down and up, but they're standing to the side. So you really want to feel it here. Bring it down here, like feeling, okay, bring it down to your knees, and then let it go forward. Just let it extend forward and it's gonna come up, you know. But pay attention with that thing. Another thing is, sometimes you're not generating enough spin and you feel like you're bringing the racket, you know that you're bringing the racket down and up, but you're still not generating enough spin. Well, you gotta pay attention when the racket is lagging there. See, sometimes they bring the racket, but the racket is on the side, and this is not gonna generate much spin going down and up. You gotta feel that racket pointing straight back towards the fence, or this is better, coming a little bit more this way, and that's where you're gonna generate more of that doorknob and going through the ball around and coming up to the shoulder or to the side. But you really want to feel that racket lagging here. Pay attention to that. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's it. I guess I'll come back soon with more tips. In the meantime, I hope it helps. Give me a like, subscribe to my channel, and well, just remember, go out there, stay centered, bold, be perseverant. It's good to see you again. Bye.